Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space, and let's get right into it today. One take and uncut. So to kick things off, guys, I have a great video for you today, so be sure to watch the entire thing. I'll try to keep this video shorter than usual to respect your time as well. So Bill Arvantis sent me a post, and again, by this gentleman. So better Steven sharing this. I'm going to give you a follow here, sir. So check this out, guys. I know that the International Monetary Fund was talking about, an acronym, XRP. Even back in 2004, we saw it on that listed document a few videos back, listed well over 400 times. And XRP for the International Monetary Fund stood for Exchange Rate Peg. Interestingly enough, we can kind of go over this, and I want to show you some additional information that may have been overlooked. So right here, guys, Vetter Steven found this cell. Just putting this here, currently Swift, again, with 5 trillion plus transactions per day with 250 business days. This is well over $1 quadrillion. That's not a made-up number, per year transacted. This is the correspondent banking network legacy service, 40 years old, and it's simply time to update it. So there's been plans for quite some time to do it. And I'm not saying XRP is all, has to do with every little thing here. What I'm saying is that XRP plays a fundamental role, being that it is open sourced. It does have to increase value with the finite supply, the actual finite supply of XRP on the network. And I know you guys think, 100 billion is a lot. In reality, for this solution, it is not at all. All right. They need a finite supply. It's pre-minted. You cannot add to it due to spam. There's all kinds of prevention for the network itself. Okay, so then there's just not a bunch of accounts or identities per se to be created. So there's a method to the madness. Those that are very technical, at least in the world of DLT, distributed ledger tech, understand this. So Swift uses something known as exchange rate pegs for transition between institutions. So between two currencies, for example. In the 90s, that started to appear on documentation appropriately labeled as XRP, exchange rate peg. Ripple, the company again, in their asset, later called XRP, was actually called, there was the Open Coin Initiative, then later it was called Ripples. And then funny enough, after, lobbying with the Fed, talking, with all of these groups, even the Faster Payments Task Force, the Federal Reserve, it later became known as XRP. All right. So again, right here, currency peg. A currency peg is defined as the policy wherein the government or the central bank maintains a fixed exchange rate to the currency belonging to another country, resulting in a stable exchange rate policy between the two. China's currency was pegged with the US dollar. Now, these valuations are always fluctuating up and down, okay, due to, demand, supply, etc. And so what happens is with a highly liquid bridge asset, we can mitigate those costs. All right, and sorry about any noise. There is a storm in the background. The thunder is sounding pretty loud. All right, so again, right here, Ripple was created, and history shows it only transitioned to be known as XRP, that digital asset, only after lobbying in DC, only after talking to very important people in some very important offices, was the Ripple token relabeled and renamed XRP. Sometimes coincidences happen. This isn't one of them, and I agree 100%. There's just too many coincidences. If you guys have seen and actually sat through the hundreds of videos I've made, the hundreds of blogs available, the hundreds of videos that other channels have made that know what they're talking about, that have been in this game for a few years, you will realize and see for yourself. I'm not encouraging you guys to believe me. I'm encouraging you to question everything, do your own research, and please dig deeper, and you will realize how deep this rabbit hole goes. Okay, so I'm going to play a few clips. These are relevant. I'm not trying to just play a video so you guys can sit and, space out. Please pay attention. I'll try to interject when necessary. I'm going to put some pieces together. So again, status sharing this old clip of Chris Larson, executive chairman of Ripple. Even Crypto Addy had a good video about him, and Chris Larson back in the day selling one of his loan businesses for 300 mil. This guy, he's well off, and they are looking to really change the game for the better, guys. This is about improving the system, financial inclusion, a level playing field, and really being a part of this great transformation of wealth occurring as we are not only encouraging for value, but true digitalization on a macro level. All right, so again, one of his quotes here, one of the key roles is making sure that we've distributed XRP broadly in a way that has much utility and as much liquidity as it possibly can. A huge marketplace, not only market makers, but of buyers and sellers all the time to make it highly liquid, more cost effective, and it will create a much higher price as higher value is sent over the ledger. We are protecting the value of XRP and the network. Now, people that don't know what they're talking about, they don't understand DLT, they think that XRP is created to just make, everyday average Joe rich. No, they're building a skyscraper, as I've been saying. There's a method to the madness. They have to distribute XRP in a well thought out manner that has taken years already, and we are coming towards that boiling point. I believe by end of year we could see something very, very interesting. And if not, then we simply have to wait longer. I have absolutely zero doubt in this ecosystem. And if I do see something negative, I will be the first one to complain and say something. But if you understand what business plans are and understand how long and how complex it is to replace this correspondent banking network, I think you would understand and be patient and be excited. All right, so listen up really quick to Chris Larson. Again, pre-minted supply, it's finite. They're not trying to just, sell the dream. They're truly building right now. And again, we are not their customers. We are retail investors. This is for institutional money transfers. It's a bridge asset. They don't need to tell you anything. We are just lucky to be able to buy it as an open sourced protocol that grows as network utility grows. The plan in my mind, keep the price suppressed and as low as possible for as long as possible until they are ready to go. Why on earth would they want the price to go up and catch attention until they are ready to go? These are the biggest banks in the world utilizing it. All right, really quick, just because I'm, I'm continuously ranting. You guys understand that these proof of concepts and trials utilizing XRP that have been done by the top 50 central banks in the world, they're not done just for fun. They're not just experimenting with random tech to see where, it's useful. They're experimenting with it to potentially use it. You understand these proof of concepts are not just for, fun, correct? All right. And again, Bank of England, the Federal Reserve, the Faster Payments Task Force, again, even the Nacho Alliance and the entire backbone for the U.S. ACH network, like the electronic fund transfers. I just don't understand how people don't realize how deep this goes. And we're talking about connections and partnerships and alliances from, 2012 to 2014 that are just under wrap, and no one talks about it because everyone in Bitcoin and all these other companies, and who knows, maybe these same companies are putting out fake articles saying, banker's coin, XRP's a scam. It defeats the point of Bitcoin. We want to, go against the government. It's ridiculous. Again, I'm here for a return on my investment, period. You guys decide for yourselves.
Just like Bitcoin, Ripple Labs, the founders, we can never create any more XRP. That's set. It was set at 100 billion about a year and 2 months ago now in the ledger. And that is decided by the protocol just like it is in Bitcoin. So XRP, our math-based currency, just like Bitcoin, is a currency without a counterpart.
Again, in the future, it is not going to be based off of central points of authority making decisions. It will be consensus-based off of algorithms. It is math-based, as he just said. Everyone will trust math, all right? Period.
Party, there is nobody to debase it, cannot be debased. Deflationary. Ripple Labs, because we don't have the need to reimburse validators, started off with the biggest chunk of XRP. And
Exactly, the exact opposite mechanism that Bitcoin started. Notice with Bitcoin in the halving, it is becoming more centralized, and now only the most profitable mining farms can continue to do that and earn more Bitcoin. These mining pools in China are becoming more and more centralized in owning and controlling more of the supply. We know there's been errors with double spending. They can actually control the blockchain itself. Even Stephen Thomas, former CTO of Ripple, now he's head of COIL for the XRP Ecosystem Initiative. He literally recoded from scratch the entire Bitcoin code. And guess what? He's extremely familiar with the XRP ecosystem. And, this is literally not even Bitcoin 2.0. This is Bitcoin 3.0. It is the first blockchain technology to stray away from proof of work. Proof of work does not work. Look at the people that are backing this. We have BlackRock. We have some of the biggest asset management funds in the world. There's just no question. Even the people that write the regulatory frameworks. We have, Stuart Alderati, Ben Lawsky. You have Craig Phillips. We are talking with, about some of the biggest companies, meeting with the, SEC. And the SEC even has a node, CFTC, meeting with the Trump administration. This is all documented. You guys can find this with a simple Google search.
One of our key roles is making sure that we distribute it as broadly in a way that adds as much utility and liquidity as we possibly can. I think our incentives are very well aligned, that For Ripple Labs to do well, we have to do a very good job in protecting the value of XRP and the value of the network. And
then people complain and say, oh, well, we're at 20 cents. We're not doing a good job at valuing it. Well, guess what, guys? The first time I saw XRP, it was about 0.005 cents or like 0.007 cents. So that's some food for thought. So if you haven't realized that, and guess what? I believe in triple digit minimum for XRP if they succeed. When you do the math and you understand supply and demand, there's no question about it. Now, the question is when, how much, and how fast. And again, 2020, by end of year, they've called it the year of the digital asset.
Really is the guiding principle here.
All right, now I want to tie in together, again, Christine Lagarde. She was the former director for the International Monetary Fund. Now she is placed as the president of the European Central Bank. How funny, the chess pieces are in play. I mean, she's discussed with Brett Garlinghouse. She's spoken highly of Ripple, but it's kind of on the DL. We've shown interviews in the past, and again, this is XRP Yo-Yo sharing this. Christine Lagarde, mind-blowing statements and talking about kind of mid-2020. And again, just listen to this. This is about, you can kind of imagine maybe distributed ledger tech. It can be about improving operational efficiencies between countries in the banking sector. Just pay close attention. I'm not saying it has to do with all XRP, but I'm sure there are little, gems here. So pay close attention.
Banks that already participate in that research, that have already committed to the project in terms of experimentation, pilots here and there.
Okay, so proof of concepts, experimentation, this level playing field, this is what they've been talking about. The narrative, she talks about tips, again, these payment systems. Of course, we can tie it together with, Task Group. We can talk about SIA and SIAnet or SIA Chain. We've gone through all of this and showing Hyperledger in Ethereum. We've shown Ripple. We've shown, Corda utilizing XRP, all of these groups, okay? And again, Corda is the open sourced, or I should say permission database more so, of R3, okay?
So harnessing on all those experiments that have taken place and all the research that has already put into this effort, together with the work that has been done here also, we will, I think we're trying to do that by mid-2020. We will identify, number one, the purpose that we have with that. Are we trying to reduce cost? Are we trying to cut out the middleman?
And by the way, this is an older video from 2019 of December, just so you guys know.
Are we trying to have inclusive finance at no cost?
Okay, so they did say cutting out middlemen, just so you know. I didn't mean to talk over that.
I mean, there's a whole range of objectives that can be pursued. So I think we will start by doing that. Then we will identify the technicalities of it all, which is not a given, particularly when you talk about a Euro system. And I think that there is also great interest outside our regional area. I know, for instance, that Canada, the UK, certainly other countries way beyond are also looking very deeply into that to see if...
And again, we essentially have the entire country of Canada Ripple enabled again. Royal Bank of Canada, and then UK, of course. We even have the Central Bank of England as a RippleNet partner. And again, you don't hear people talking about this. Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, used to talk about this a lot. We have a CNBC article and video showing him discussing this, but now as everything's starting to roll out, they're extremely quiet, and a lot of people wonder why. If we have the solution and you guys were so confident in talking about it before, why are we so quiet during a global liquidity crisis? Again, the perfect time to roll out a new system is by showing how outdated and how, run into the ground the current one is. And after you burn the current system down, the best thing to do is let the new one rise up out of the ashes. We see this time and time again throughout history, even the Roman Empire themselves or itself.
It makes sense, what purpose it serves, and how we can best deliver on it. My personal conviction is that given the developments we're seeing, not so much in the Bitcoin segment, but in the stablecoins projects, and we only know of one at the moment, but there are others being explored and underway at the moment, we'd better be ahead of the curve if that happens, because there is clearly a demand out there that we have to respond to.
And understand that countries will be putting out their own stable coins. This is basically just digital tokens of our existing fiat currency. There's not going to be a one world currency. Okay, now can they all interoperate? Yes, and that is exactly where XRP will play a role. It is that bridge asset. And again, kind of like that exchange rate peg, as we've saw that the International Monetary Fund, again, she's the former director there, discusses years ago. All right, now understand that these countries, these central bank digital currencies, all they have to do is kind of build out the infrastructure and, tokenize these assets. Relatively simple. Even the dollars that we have, the paper, $5 bill we have today, it is a serial number. And basically we can just tokenize this asset, this supply. Okay. It's my belief. We've already talked about, fractionally backing with gold and the oil and the, commodity energy sector. That's a whole other video. It goes very, very deep.
I would like to add a footnote to that. I think the benefit of the paper is that it also draws a line between this sort of glamorous central bank digital currency, much talked about and worth exploring.
And the question is, where will these central bank digital currencies operate or interoperate or be run on? Some people say, it'd be perfect to run over the XRP ledger due to the multiple capabilities of the XRP ledger itself, IOUs, decentralized exchanges, etc. Also, obviously with the Interledger protocol, but are they all going to be created in a centralized database? How will they interoperate? Because we need, for the Internet of Value and for all of the trillions, if not even low quadrillions of dollars to be transferable, you need not only a digital asset to, tokenize these and exchange the value, you need protocols of interoperability, and then you also need a ledger. Now, what they've been talking about is not necessarily fully decentralized, but a more distributed mechanism to create trust in the world. So you need a few points, and again, smart contract applications and atomic settlement are going to be crucial. All of the banks have already been talking and testing this for a long time. Huge percentage, I'm talking majority of banks now, are utilizing and have been testing and already invested billions into distributed ledger technology. And again, you guys think that they're not going to be using digital assets? You think that they're all just going to be tokenized stablecoins that do not, that are not open sourced? That defeats the purpose of where we are going. Society, like a pendulum, swings from decentralized to centralized preferences all the time. There will be centralized tokens, of course, absolutely, but there's still going to be open sourced due to the issues of counterparty risk, due to trust, due to so many other factors, specifically with the geopolitical tensions that we see today. What is BRICS doing? The BRIC nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they are straying away from the US dollar reserve currency. It is time again, every 90 to 100 years, there's a black swan event and the reserve currency changes. Now is the time to roll it all out, and they're simply coming to a boiling point. This is going to be massive. I am bullish in the crypto assets that solve a real purpose and precious metals, specifically silver more than gold, just because it is more volatile. So when gold goes up, whether silver lags, I believe that it will have a higher return as well. Now, if there is gold back, gold or a fraction of it backing the currency, maybe a portion, maybe there would be a price set. And they've discussed this before. Gold price sets have happened overnight as well. So we cannot rule anything out. That's all I'm saying. Entertain all ideas without fully accepting them. If you are stuck in one, myopic way of viewing it, you're already, you're only hurting yourself.
And the digital payment systems that we have and that exist.
And by the way, she's named digital payment systems, and guess what? They're all RippleNet enabled that she's named before. Okay, and we've shown the documents, we've shown the infographics showing Ripple and XRP interoperability, so there's no question there.
We have several items that are completely digitalized, that are not at the front end, and that the bank's clients do not perceive as being in operation, but where settlement and clearings are actually.
See? Bank clients, you and me, we don't realize or perceive it. And again, XRP is not going to be well known. It might just, gradually rise slowly or just have a price set overnight. Now, what's going to happen is this is an invisible protocol that will work on the back end of the settlement, the literal foundation of a payment stack. We don't need to know anything. Okay, and she says an operation where settlement and clearing are actually taking place. Settlement is XRP. The clearing, of course, this is going to be enhanced messaging and reconciliation. Do you see where this is going? There's no other asset that can do this. There's going to be other small groups of banks or intra networks that, yeah, they have their own utility settlement tokens. That is typical. Nothing changes. They're still going to have different networks. But what I'm saying is, on a global macro level, not every bank will want to join one centralized group due to a variety of differences and competition.
Taking place instantly, thanks.
Instantly. What else can do that in 3 to 5 seconds? Nothing. Nothing has a scalability. Nothing has the scalability throughput, the speed, the actual security and consensus mechanism that has never been seen before, that is truly trusted, and the security is, bar none.
Thanks to the digital payment system that have been put in place.
All right, so I know that was a long rant, but again, European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde on stablecoins, digital currency, and Bitcoin from this Bitcoin channel. Okay, so next up, I'm going to keep going here. Sorry if this is a long one. There's just so much information, and I'm pretty sure that not many people are going to pay attention to this video because of short attention spans and people just scrolling through social media, but hey, I'll try to be one of the many voices, and we'll see who listens. So right here, real XRP boy. Why disregard short-term noise and stay focused on the prize? Zero doubt Ripple XRP. And again, zero doubt was not coined by us XRP fanboys that you guys call us. It was coined by actual people of Ripple and Miguel Valles, former CME executive of literally the precious metals markets and master of liquidity. And he was head of XRP markets for liquidity. And guess what? His job's essentially done. So the chess pieces are in place, and now we wait. I don't know how, manipulated it will become or, continue to be. I'm not going to speculate on who's doing this. Obviously, we understand that Bitcoin whales control the market for the time being until regulation come. Custody is here and, regulatory clarity, custody, and then actual utility, right? All the naysayers and the economically incentivized players can go play with Bitcoin. Now, some of these quotes are from Brad Garlinghouse. And they were a 2017 in September interview. Now, remember, there was a bull run for XRP before the big one that we know in the end of 2017. I know a good chunk of you that are watching these videos and know what you're talking about are well aware of that as well. I want to read a few key points. All right, stay with me. I'm almost done. So right here, when Amazon started, it focused just on books. They chose a vertical, and it was called Amazon Books. They got really good at it, and then expanded to other verticals. And again, now they essentially do everything. We're even taking on FedEx and, USPS. We see lots of other compelling verticals to go after in the blockchain space. Bank liquidity, that catch-all term, is measured in the trillions of dollars, and using a digital asset to change the nature of how banks can reduce their costs and needs for liquidity is transformational in a multi-trillion-dollar way. Our focus in this part of the bank payments is like Amazon's initial focus on books. At some point, we gain momentum, we will lean into other vertical markets. We think not that just XRP, guys, but XRP Ledger is so much more performant in throughput, speed of transactions, and cost per transaction. I mean, yeah, when you give or take 1,000 times more efficient than Bitcoin, I think you realize that. And there's just so much FUD that I see or silly comments that it's just people that don't do their own research. Guys, Google it. You can figure it out. Google.com, great website, and you can decide if those sources are viable or not, and you can double check those sources as well. Every single point. Oh, well, wasn't it better? We don't need a digital asset to do this. We can just do direct conversions. No, we've gone through this, and why? All right here. It's about more than just making you wealthy based on the value of a digital asset that's used as Ripple's bridge currency. It's about the network effect of making what used to be slow, snail-paced transactions as fast as electrons can move. We know that lowering the cost of a transaction to almost zero, to near zero essentially, and making it faster will have a dramatic effect on commerce. Again, this is such a big statement, and I don't think people grasp what is really happening. Bank payments is one piece of the pie. Look at the derivatives market. There's going to be many, many cryptocurrencies that do phenomenal things in the world of DeFi, decentralized finance. This market is hundreds of trillions, if not on the high end of analysts, measure it at like $1.2 quadrillion. Another market. Do you understand how much intangible value there is? This is all just social constructs and belief systems that society works on and works and builds upon. There's so much money to be made. Right? But to really understand what can happen, we have to look at the history of the internet itself, and specifically email. Again, SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. That's right, email. Right here, Garlinghouse. I definitely lived through the dot-com bubble. Again, and this is going to dwarf. It's going to make the dot-com bubble look like a dwarf. Josh Hanna wrote a post about that bubble and what's going on with crypto today. And again, they're not calling it cryptocurrency anymore. They're calling them crypto assets. Pay attention. I'm talking about institutions and banks. Most people think a future discounted cash flow is the best way to value a company, but digital assets are a commodity trading on supply and demand. There's fixed supply and increasing demand. I think you're going to continue to see more demand in the future. I think you'll be able to buy Bitcoin or XRP in your Schwab accounts. Interestingly enough, guys, we have, the NASDAQ listing, the XRP Liquidity Index. We have all these groups. We have NASDAQ teaming up with R3. It's just coming into place. And if you guys don't see it, it just means you haven't done enough research. I wholeheartedly believe that. We're going to tokenization, the benefits of asset fractionalization. It's going to be a digital world. And yes, there's so many other things I can't keep up with. But in terms of crypto assets in adoption, it's happening. It's just simply a matter of when. Ripple has been having as a company, and I think that's increased the value of XRP. We want to keep focusing on making XRP a valuable payments tool, and that value will increase accordingly. Understand, they can't really give price predictions, but they've shown, demonstrations of market cap and how much of a payments market. And again, there's like $155 trillion per year in cross-border payments, and they kind of went through it. And they did, if we have this, we can see, a $2 XRP. If this happens, it's $120 XRP. And then there's multiple, multiplier effects is what they call it based upon this. And there's a host of things that can, kind of lead to a multiplier effect. But again, you have to look at supply and demand, look at the holdings, look at what's truly circulating. We just go over this all the time. Okay, so just to breeze through this, that pretty much will call it a day because this video is getting really long and I'll just do a bunch of info in another video. So stay tuned for that. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse explains why the world has barely scratched the surface with cryptocurrency, September 2017. I'm going to speed through this. Again, some of the same quotes that Real XRP was sharing, so thank you, sir. Talking about exposed to Bitcoin early, Silicon Valley. There's few ideas going around to make a dent in the universe. That's when he met with Chris Larson again, to enable the internet of value rather than just the internet of information and data that we already have today. We had no idea 20 years ago that there'd be applications and online marketplaces and Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and, whatever else. Even applications like Microsoft Excel that help businesses in accounting and record keeping just go so deep, and all kinds of softwares. All right, wire transfers dates back to 1800s, antiquated system. Friction of moving value remains surprisingly high. XRP is built to solve the payments problem. Exactly. I'm not going to speculate on other cryptocurrencies. I'm just saying for payments and actual bridge asset, XRP. With decentralized oracles, perhaps Chainlink. With, STOs or securities and other platforms built upon certain blockchains that could be the most distributed decentralized proof-of-stake networks. Cardano, Tezos, who knows? What I'm saying, though, is for payments, XRP. And guess what? XLM, Lumens, the founder, Jed McCaleb, even when he was with Ripple and one of the founders, he said that they're not even going after the same, competition. This market is huge. Please comprehend that. There can be retail, there can be institutional. There's so many markets and more than enough value in winners. Today we have many groups. We have, Apple, we have Android. There's so much to go around, guys. All right, dramatically lower visibility. Again, talking about payment transactions of money. All right, and then I want to kind of show you, talking about the XRP ledger, decentralization. XRP is clearly not a security. There's been so much distribution, everything. It's just hilarious that people think that and can still say that. And you can keep saying that when XRP blows past $10 too. Today, the world sends $155 trillion across borders. If we solve this payment opportunity, we enable this internet of value and should have lots of other opportunities beyond that. Okay, $155 trillion across borders. Remember, it wants to reduce the pre-funded accounts anywhere from $5 trillion to $27 trillion of money that sits and does nothing as just-in-case money to help, provide liquidity and kind of when industries or banks have solvency issues, that's just-in-case money that does nothing. When XRP is a bridge asset and slowly becomes the most efficient, and obviously that flywheel effect takes roll, whatever I'm saying. And when kind of that snowball starts gathering momentum, these spreads become tighter and XRP becomes cheaper than anything else. There's no other mechanism that can do this. All right, Amazon started, focused on books. Now look at them, multi-trillion-dollar way, of course. You know, Bitcoin takes about 4 hours to complete a transaction. And I mean, again, it can be done in 45 minutes. But if you guys see when bull runs happen, we see Bitcoin go to 20K. Sometimes it took like 2 days for a Bitcoin transaction to go through. And you have Bitcoin maximalists saying, oh, well, it's going to be the currency of the people. It's going to be a global currency. I'm a little cynical with that, but we'll see. You know, XRP takes 3.7 seconds. Bitcoin, now it's like maybe 8 transactions per second, but it says 3 to 4 here. XRP can handle 1,500 transactions per second. And then, of course, we can kind of build direct payment channels for groups as well. It's, obviously they can already, with hardware as well, can compete with the likes of Visa today, like XRP, easily. All right, positions used well. Silicon Valley, guys, Ripple's the highest valued private company to come out of Silicon Valley, is a fintech financial technology firm. It's a done deal. If you think that they're just some random company that had some good funding and you think that they're trying to change the system, that's just comical to me. I think there's some very smart people that stay conservative and quiet in this community, and they know what is really happening. And I talk to some very highly connected people as well. All right. Kind of going through here. I just want to see if there's anything. Yep, again, deliver Visa-like scale today with our technology. It's hard to predict how Visa will evolve, but they're based on an older paradigm. And this is in 2017, again, just as a reminder. But they did acquire Earthport, so we'll see. All right. Is XRP going to be involved in the Internet of Things? Yeah, I absolutely think that, but primarily the Internet of Value. Internet of Things, there's going to be so many other technologies built off of that as well. There's tons of trends occurring, and I can't keep up with all of them either. All right, you can see maybe it's going to Visa Network and NFC. Is that let me see here. Self-fulfill, self-serving gas. I don't know if that NFC is, what is that? Is that near field communication? Kind of like RFID chips, radio frequency ID. That'll be massive with the Internet of Things as well. We've talked about that in depth and detail. And again, even biochips that can, perform payments that were developed a while ago as well. And some actual companies are having employees get microchipped, which creeps me out. And, I don't want to start conspiracies, but that's just fact. And they can actually pay at their local kiosks for food for lunch inside of their work. It's so creepy to me. But again, comparison's 100%. Guys, this is just going to be absolutely massive. I encourage you to do your own research. I'm going to cover additional information in future videos. One thing I do recommend, if you're a newcomer and, this is way above your head and you're kind of just lost, go through some good blogs. Again, right here, this is I Am Legion, and you can go to coil.com, COIL.com, and you can read about this. And he'll go through different things. So for example, let me, just to kind of give him a shout out, because he does phenomenal research. He's been here for years. You can go to coil.com, find I Am Legion here. And he has all kinds of partners and tying them to specifically the XRP ecosystem. All right. Talking interledger protocol, central banks, the Federal Reserve, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank. World Bank's literally referred to XRP. You can tie it to all these groups and understand how much money and volume is coming through them and what portion is XRP after to improve. RippleNet partner, Finastra, Behemoth. If you really think that there's only 400 partners directly of XRP, no. There's thousands. Accenture, some of the biggest groups in the world, there were original investors backing Ripple and XRP. They all have a vested interest for this company to do great things, okay? So again, this is I Am Legion on coil.com. So as always, guys, today is the 17th. Now that promotion for the 50% of the Ledger Nanos is expiring. So again, hopefully you guys can get that. Take advantage of that if you have not already. Remember to check the links in the description for all things related to making money with cryptocurrency. Shout out to Jamie XRP, Mikey, Crypto Beginner, Philip, Miles, Ken Melendez, and all other top channel members. Appreciate all of you that hit the like button, share this video around, and until next time.